Good morning, good morning. So today I wanted to, good morning everybody. Today, October 28th, 2020, it's a Wednesday. I wanted to cover some more in-depth stuff on finesse wedge, sequence, body movement, and the difference between finesse wedge, distance wedge, and full swing. So we're going to get right into it. So with the full swing sequence, we're talking about hands, arms, shoulders, pull the hips back, and then the start down is hips, chest and arms, hands, club head, and that's the kinematic sequence. Full rotation, the hips rotated, the legs rotated, everything's towards the target. With the distance wedges, a little bit of weight on my front side, still go back with the hands, arms, and shoulders, but the hips are not really moving. There's not a lot of rotation in the hips. I get to about my 9 o'clock swing, and the downswing is going to start with the hips, chest and arms, hands, club head, 7 out of 10 energy for the distance wedge sequence that we're working on training. Finesse wedge, it's still hands, arms, and shoulders, but I stop right about here, and then the kinematic sequence is not the hips, then the chest and arms, and then the club head and the hands. The sequence is here, it's simply the club head. I'm going to drop the club head, and then the arms and chest, and then the hips, energy right towards the target, club, the handle right at my belly button. But I still have my hips and my leg rotated towards the target. I see a lot of you doing this, and your left arm is leading out here, and then the hips stop right here. The hips are stopping here versus rotating all the way here. So the body movement for the finesse wedge, you really got to just work on, even without a club, just working on doing this, to where I've got my chest open, laser beam in front, I got my leg weight in my front side. Can you just take your whole frame, your lower body, your hips and your legs, and let that hold everything, energy towards the target? Now, as you can see, it's not a full swing. My arms are right next to my side, my elbows are slightly bent, and this is all I'm doing. I want to be able to maintain and hold my hands and arms in this structure right here. So this is the sequence that you can train individually without a club. It's just being able to rotate your hips, and then get into a tall posture. I see a lot of you taking this left arm, if you're a right-handed golfer, and trying to swing the club, and there's no need in that because it's just a finesse wedge. And if we think about finesse, we're talking about 30 yards and in, so if you're talking about a 15-yard chip or pitch shot, I would never need to swing like that. I would simply just cock my wrist, rotate back. Now I've got this wrist cock, so this is power accumulator number 2. We get this angle here, and to release that power, I just simply uncock it. So you can, if you looked at best full swing part 1, slow motion, pull the scalpel back a couple inches, just pull this back a couple inches. Well, if I do this shoulder rotation and I cock my lead hand, my cock number 2 pressure point, well, there I am in a perfect sequence for the takeaway for every swing. Finesse wedge swing, distance wedge swing, full swing. So up the plane toe up, that's the backswing. Up the plane toe up, club head, arms and chest, hips. So I really want you to guys just really understand the difference here. Train without a club if you have to. Put your hands on your hips and just turn your hips this way. Turn your hips this way. Turn your hips this way. There's a thrust. You know, if you're going to run, you're gonna run that way. You've got to thrust off from this side. If I'm going to run that way, I've got to thrust off from this side. If I'm going to run that way, I've got to thrust off from this side. So just get familiar with how to use your body in the golf swing. You know, we've got ground courses. We've got, for a right-handed golfer, if I take the ball with my right foot and I push this way, that will push my hips. And I see so many people just turn their hips here. You let your arms, and you're trying to make this big full swing for a finesse wedge when you're only trying to get the ball to go anywhere between 5 yards to 30 yards, up the plane toe up. And as you see, my hips rotated, my knees rotated, and my arms are in front of the ball. I mean, my hands are in front of my belly button. Tom Parker, good morning. Yes, I do the left arm and blade it. Okay. So if we go back to power accumulation, we're gonna accumulate a little bit of power, but it's not like we're trying to get a full swing and get power. So you can basically accumulate power simply by cocking the left wrist for right-hand golfers, and then uncocking it. So just see how finesse, it's just dropping. My left hand is holding on the club handle, the club head is being dropped, and my arm and chest is carrying the momentum all the way towards the target. So yeah, we're hitting a ball that's down here, but the target's over there. So we've got to make sure that we take our energy towards the target. And then since this club head has quite a bit of loft on it, we're just going to clip the grass. It's going to clip the ball. So I hope this helps to get the difference between finesse wedge, distance wedge, and the full swing sequence. But this is primarily finesse wedge, and you've got to make sure that your hips and your knee rotate. So from down the line, I'm going to make sure my hips rotate and my leg rotates, and now I've got my hips at the target, my knees right next to here, my toes up, and I've got my weight on my left foot, and I'm pretty vertical. And then my hands would not be way out here. They would just be right here connected to my midsection. Here, just like this. And that's the spaghetti arms. So I work on the lower body, the chest and arms, and then the club head and the hands. So the finesse wedge sequence, so I'll recap again. The full swing is hands, arms, shoulders are pulling the hips. Now I get this big wide turn, and the downswing starts with the hips, then the chest and the arms, and the club head, the hands. Big full arms are out here, full extension, full finish, weight up on my front side. Hips are still pointed at target. Distance wedge, got a little bit of weight in my left foot, my front foot. I'm going to keep the lower body really quiet. I don't want a big hip turn. I just want to take my hands, arms, and shoulders to 9 o'clock, build this tension from the left side, And that tension is in my hip too, and so the start down with my hip, then my chest and my arms, my hands, and then there's my finish for the distance wedge. But now again, for the finesse wedge, we're only talking 8 yards, 13 yards, 21 yards, 34 yards. Very short yardage around the green, so it's got to be real nice and good touch, so it's finesse. So the sequence is hands, arms, and shoulders. Now I've got my power accumulation by cocking the left wrist. And then so the sequence is not going to be the hips. The sequence is going to be the club head, then the arms and chest, and then the hips. So I would work on this in a mirror over and over and over, or in a camera, just like I hear it on camera. Club head. And if I just take my right hand and put back here, and I got my weight in my front and I cock the wrist, and I just take this club head and throw it to the ground, it's going to stay right there. That's where, so this wrist cock, uncock, cock, uncock. Well, if I get my whole body going, a split second behind my club head drop, and then it just clips the grass. So I can do that with right arm only. Here I am in the backswing. I drop the club head, arms and chest. Club head, arms and chest. Butt of the club handle is right at my belly button. My weight, my hips have rotated towards the target. My knee is rotated towards the target. I can do left-handed only. Right here, my hips are fully rotated towards the target. The butt of the club handle is at my belly button. We've got wrist cock here. That's where I'm going to get my finesse power from. It's not a big left arm swing. It's not a left arm swing. It's simply uncock and brace everything to the side here. Just going to brace everything with the side of my elbow, bicep muscle right connected here. Hips are fully turned. Leg is turned, standing pretty much vertical, and then both arms just like that. So if you can practice that over and over and over in front of the mirror or camera until it becomes second nature, then you can go out to the course and pick a target down range and don't focus on here, because I see so many people when they get a ball in the way, they do this. And then they forget everything they've been training, which is rotating and getting to here, getting my energy down there. So I want to get my energy down here. So if I look down range and I just say, all right, well, this is my target. I'm going to focus down there. I'm going to do my routine. I'm going to take my practice swing. I'm going to get set up. And once I get set up, then I want to make sure I go down range, and down range means I need to get to here. I need to get my whole body here. This is the last thing I'm trying to do, is visualize in the field of being down here, and then I just step up to it, and there I am, down here. Ball went exactly where I wanted. It's a good swing. I'll relive it, and then if it was a bad swing, I fix it. So I hope this helps to really understand the distinction of how to master this finesse wedge, because there's so many shots around the green. And if you can master the sequence, then you can go out there and do some random practice and do some games so you can really put yourself under pressure and score when it counts. When you do this drill enough indoors in front of a mirror without hitting balls, then you can go out there and actually play target golf. You can pick a target, just like I picked the target here. You know, I got a 9-iron in my hand, so it's going to be hard for me to get it up there. But that's going to be my target, right up there. So I'm going to do whatever I can Might manipulate the face a little bit so it gets a little bit higher. But I'm just thinking downrange. And so my practice thing is to make sure that I'm getting my whole body, my hips, my chest, everything towards that target. I'm not stopping here and hoping the ball gets down there. I want to make sure that the finesse wedge sequence carries and holds everything up here this way. I hit my target line as a foot below it, so obviously I wouldn't use this club if I wanted to get that type of flight. So a lot of you need to be on my calendar. Get on my calendar. Zoom with Dean. I've had some great calls this week. I see a lot of progress. Congratulations, Alan, winning the match the other day. Keep sharing your wins and celebrations, and let's have some fun, man. 8 things we need to do over the next 8 weeks. Be really good at putting. What do you need to be good at putting? Hit your line that you read. Control your speed across that line. Finesse wedges, bunkers, distance wedges, long game. Best full swing part 1. There's a really good way to break that down. Watch part 1 today, train it for 7 days. Watch part 2 next week, train it for 7 days. Watch part 3 the following week, train it for 7 days. Watch part 4 the following week, train it for 7 days. And in 30 days, you can really build a whole new motor pattern of a really good full swing. And anytime you're stuck or confused about something, get in my calendar. And then keep doing the stretching, and let's have some fun. I'll see you guys soon.